Hey there guys, what's going on? So before we begin this video today, which the title screen up there will give away as the Dave Matthews Band with Remember Two Things and a vinyl unboxing, of course, I just wanted to say real quick, and I've been trying to say this and doing other takes of this video, but it just didn't quite come out right, so I'm going to kind of keep it a little more short and to the point. Obviously, if you saw the Jack White videos, or you've just noticed that I haven't made a video for a little bit. I went on a little bit of a hiatus in the last week or so, as I said I was going to do leading up into that whole period of time to get to spend some really quality, special time with someone who's really special and really important to me. And over that course of time, which was fantastic, of course, it was just such a pleasure to look in on this YouTube page, which is still so young. It's not even 4 months old yet, and just to be able to see that new people are subscribing, people were watching the Jack White stuff. There was just a ton of great feedback. There was just so much positivity with that, and I wanted to put this in before we started this video just to thank you guys out there. Thank you to the viewers. Thank you to the new subscribers. Even as tiny and as minuscule as I am, I appreciate every subscriber, every comment, every little surprise. All like, what, 17 or 18 of you that have come along in like the last week and change or so. And you've really helped validate you really helped validate this direction that I wanted to go in with making a new channel, going away from my old one, which had a little bit of a base to it, but really was feeling tired and worn out to me. And you not only helped validate that, but you've helped validate a lot of thoughts in my head about what I want to do and who I want to be in terms of a journalist and doing music journalism and freelancing and being around music. And it's really helped make things even more concrete in my head, and it's made me want to fight harder to not only build up those numbers, build up that exposure, but to just build up like my creativity and coming back out here and making new videos for you guys and for me, of course, but just to really, it's gotten me so fired up. And I just wanted to say thank you, and I know that just delayed the video by a couple of minutes at least, but I had to put that in there because this is the first video I'm making after my hiatus. Good hiatus, and it just was really important. So let's get to it with Dave Matthews Band and Remember Two Things. Now, with this band, we have to get past some preconceived notions, of course, because some of you, if you're watching right now, you might go, oh, the Dave Matthews Band, it's such a cliche of, stupid frat college kids who smoke a lot of weed and bounce a hacky sack around from knee to knee. And first of all, hacky sack, really? That stopped being a joke about 15 years ago. But secondly, you have to remember something about music in general, in that even though sometimes maybe bands like this or groups like this, solo artists, they might become the butt of a joke or a stereotype based on what their fan base is like, you have to look deeper than that, and you have to look at the sheer undeniable talent level that exists between a group of guys in a band like Dave Matthews Band. Boy, if that download card falls anymore, I swear to God. You have to look at it and realize, past the fan base and all that stuff, just the sheer ability of these guys to make this music. And this is starting from the beginning. This was their first ever album that they ever put out, recently reissued for the first time on vinyl, all this stuff. You really have to look at that because it is so clearly undeniable. Guys, jam bands like Dave Matthews Band, like the Grateful Dead, they get so much heat. I think Dave Matthews Band, because it's more modern, as being the worst and just, this awful, awful thing. But there is such a talent level with that. With Fish, for example, is another one, with guys that come together and can create these sound landscapes, these like improvisations that can just stretch away and out and far, 10, 20 minutes, which maybe is not for everybody, but there is such a musicality to that, and that is so tough to do as somebody who's played music for 8 years. That is such a tough thing to do, and it's really something you have to acknowledge. And you know, I for one will say, while not all their stuff is my cup of tea, there's definitely a lot of stuff that I even grew up listening to. I would hear, you know, my parents play, and they're really, you know, these guys, they're really young days, and it's just, it's undeniable what they possess. And I wanted to get that out of the way. Preconceived notions, not always a good thing. You got to look deeper, and I'm going to show that to you right here with Remember Two Things. Like I said, this was their introductory record, their first record in 1993, independently released before their other studio recorded stuff came along later. It's very interesting, of course, that they're finally going back all these years later to the beginning of their catalog, to their origins, to finally press this stuff on vinyl after how their last couple of records performed, how all their live track stuff performs on Record Store Day. This is sorely overdue. But it's really an interesting album because a lot of this is done live and is not really you know, properly studio recorded. Just a couple of tracks are, you know, studio recorded like next to a bathroom. Really tiny stuff, like a band, you know, in its sheer youth. But to get right to it here, this is the deluxe LP edition, first time on vinyl, pressed on 180-gram audiophile vinyl. It comes with a 12-inch book, 12-inch book with lyrics and rare and unpublished photos, individually numbered. This one is 5090 for those who are curious. Includes free download of the entire album plus 2 unreleased studio outtakes. I have not found out what that is yet, but that is on here. I'm not going to show you that. And pay for what you, and they are, well, never mind, apparently. I'm going to tell you what they are because I need to look at the next line. Pay for what you get, and typical situation. But anyway, moving aside from that, this is the cover, which I am told, and I knew sort of off the bat, I'm told if you relax your eyes and cross them and uncross them and, you know, do some sort of magic trick and knock 3 times on the front of the record, you will see 2 fingers apparently will appear. Let's actually try to get that a little bit closer like I like to try to do. It will magically appear because it's one of those 3D images, but I haven't been able to see it yet. In the back here, it's a nice gatefold release, by the way. You'll see that in a minute, just like the front. You have Ants Marching, Tripping Billies, recently, Satellite, Minarets, Seek Up. I'm really most acquainted with Ants Marching and Tripping Billies, as well as Satellite. The song that Jane likes, Christmas song, of course. This is just produced by John Alagia, Dave Matthews Band, about how to join the fan warehouse, the hand numbering like I mentioned. And inside here you have the super young crew that is the Dave Matthews Band at this point in time. Very much babies at that point, which is pretty crazy considering, you know, how many of them are still, you know, together these days, or unfortunately passed away in the case of Leroy Moore. But inside here on the first sleeve we have the 12-inch lyric booklet, as was mentioned on the front there, with a photo of Leroy, speaking of which. And it's harder to kind of flip through this, but this is basically what it looks like, just to give you an idea. We'll go page to page, but lyrics are really nicely pressed in there, which I always like when there's, you know, really thorough attention paid to those. Photo of Dave on the back with very fashionable pants. I think I wore those to bed last night. And on here we have first record, very nicely pressed, I gotta say, right offhand. Got a thick, durable feel to it. Really like the feel of this record. We've got A-side, Ants Marching, Tripping Billies, recently. B-side, Satellite, song that Jane likes, One Sweet World, Minarets. Like I said, mostly live. It has a nice early feel to what they were going to become later down the line, though it's definitely a different impression at this particular juncture. And then the other side is just pretty much the same deal. It looks like there are more photos inside, not that you'd be able to tell any better than me, but there's that. And, you know, you've got a Christmas song on the end, Seek Up, I'll Back You Up, just kind of the same deal there too. But this was the basic package, and this actually was a really good and really timely present on my part. But it's one that I am definitely enjoying listening to as well. So I hope you enjoyed my little brief unboxing of Dave Matthews Band with Remember Two Things. Very nice and interesting intro to a band that, while they maybe aren't as on top of their game as they used to be 15, 20 years ago, it really shows just where a young, hungry group of guys were headed with some really successful, really interesting releases that really, honestly, no matter what your preconceived notions, really had a lot of great songs, a lot of great songwriting, and some really great moments on them. So I hope you enjoyed this little vinyl unboxing video. Of course, this was the download card I didn't want to show you. I won't show you the back. There's that too, by the way. And I hope you enjoyed this latest bit of content from yours truly here on the Vinyl Corner. Expect a lot more stuff soon to come here, as I've got a lot of things planned, some reviews of new singles, a new album. Lots of new things are coming up, so keep it here, guys. Thank you so much again for subscribing, watching, commenting, all that stuff while I was away on hiatus. Please do keep it up. Let's keep this growing here. I've got so many more great ideas I want to bring your way, so keep it here and stay tuned.